Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing part 2 of the EDPM Paper 1 revision notes, which basically is a revision of the entire syllabus. Alright, just letting you know before I begin that the information that I have compiled here for this video was taken from my own research, as well as I gathered some data from Donna Price's book. And there's another handout that, well, I do not know the author, all right, but there's another handout that someone created with some EDPM notes that I also used to get some data for this video, all right. Now let us begin. So I'm going to start off today's video speaking about word processing. Now it says that word processing is the process of using the computer to store, process, manipulate, and print documents. A word processor allows the user to edit a document, facilitates the quick and easy correction of typographical errors, identifies spellings and grammatical errors. It also enables multiple copies of the same document to be produced. Word processing is a software is a software package that is used to create business documents of a textual nature, such as letters, notices, agenda, reports, memos, newsletters, and minutes of a meeting, among many others. The features of a word processing software includes word wrap, block or remove, moving of text, mail merge, centering, bolding, desktop publishing, etc. Alright, so we're going to move down to document formatting and proofing. Now, the format of a document refers to the way all the elements of a document are basically arranged on the page. So when we speak about the elements of the document, we're speaking about the text, the pictures, the title, the headers, and the footers, right? How all of those are arranged on a page. Formatting is a process during which the layout and appearance of the elements to the document is basically changed up. All right, how we change those things, the appearance of the document once we are doing something there in the word processor that we're using, which is Microsoft Word. I don't think I mentioned that. So the word processor that we use is Microsoft Word. All right, types of formatting that may be applied to a document are: we can format the characters, we can format paragraphs, and we can format the entire page. All right, I have a table here. So when it comes to character formatting, we're able to, what can we do to the character, right? We can apply text effects, change the font, change the color, change the size, and change the type of the character. And the character speaks to the words, the letters, all right, that are there in the document. How can we format a paragraph? We can apply borders and shadings, bullets and numbering, alignment, line spacing, and we can also change the orientation of the text. And when it comes to the entire page, how can we format that? We can format that by applying a border, by changing the margin of the page, by inserting a header and footer, or by setting the gutter size. But for us, we do not normally trouble the gutter size, but we'll do the other three. All right, let's move down to proofing or proofreading. Proofreading is a process of reviewing any text, either hard copy on paper or electronic copy on a computer, and checking for typographical and formatting errors. It is good practice to proofread documents after formatting and before printing documents. And this is very important in this subject. All right, because many a times you will do your typing and you print your work or you send in your work as is without proofreading it to ensure that there's no spelling, grammar, typographical, capitalization errors, etc. And if those exist, you will lose a lot of marks in your exam. So that is one thing you should always ensure that you do when you type your documents. Proofread. Alright, so we now move to formatting and editing text. Now, formatting means changing the presentation and appearance of a document. Formatting tasks include bold, underline, italic, line spacing, bullets and numbering, margins, symbols, borders and shading, background, watermarks, endnotes, footnotes, headers, footers, and page numbering. So when we speak about formatting a document, these are all the things that we can do to the document once we are formatting it. All right? When we speak about editing, what can we do? We can cut, copy, paste, move, search, find and replace, add and delete, spell and grammar check, using a thesaurus, changing the font type, typing over or an insert, using the type over or insert mode to type over text, right? So we're editing a document, and that basically is to change the document. These are some of the things that we can do to that document. Spacing after punctuation marks. Now there should be 2 spaces after a full stop, an exclamation mark, or a question mark and a colon. 2 spaces after. 1 space after a comma or a semicolon. No space before and after hyphen, and 1 space before and after a dash. All right, and note that a hyphen is different from a dash as it relates to the spacing that is there. Types of capitals. So we have 3 types of capitals. We have initial capitals, closed capitals, and spaced capitals. Initial capitals, the first letter of each word is in capitals, as you can see here, lab rules, capital L, capital R. When it comes to closed capitals, all the letters are in capitals without any space between each and 1 space separating each word. And that can be seen here, lab rules, and a space between lab and rules. All right. And finally, we have spaced capitals, where we have all the letters are in capitals with 1 space between each letter and 3 spaces between each word, as you can see here. L space A space B, then we have 3 spaces between here. Then we have R space U space L space E space, and then the S. That's a space capital. Then we look at line spacing. So we have 3 types of line spacing. We have single line spacing, double line spacing, and triple line spacing that are used in EDPM. All right. There are other line spacing that you can use, 1.5, etc. But for our subject, it's 3 types that we use: single, double, or triple. Now, when it comes to single line spacing, no space is placed between the lines. How do we achieve that? We achieve that by pressing the Enter key once. And I have here in bracket when the show hide is on. All right. And so what we're seeing here, single line spacing and when the show hide is on, these 2 lines here represent a single line spacing, or what we just call a single space. All right, so there's no space between these 2 lines of text. The next one speaks to double line spacing. With double line spacing, there's 1 clear line space between lines. How do we achieve that? We achieve that by pressing the Enter key twice when the show hide is on. And so after I would have typed show hide is on, I would have pressed the Enter key once, which would have given me the space that I'm seeing here where the cursor is blinking, and twice, which would have taken me to this line here where I would have started my typing with number 2 and double line spacing. So the space that exists here that has nothing, right, represents a double line space. All right, double line space. So between these 2, number 1 and number 2, I have a double line spacing or a double space. All right. Then the third one speaks about triple line spacing. Now, triple line spacing, there are 2 clear line spacing between lines of text. We achieve that by pressing the Enter key 3 times. All right, or when the show hide is on. And I have that again, when the show hide is on. Now, you may not be able to achieve or understand all that I'm saying here, but please bear in mind that I have videos on all of these. I have a video on line spacing. I have a video. I'm seeing here types of headings. I have a video on types of paragraphs. So you can always refer back to the channel to get the theory aspect of all of these. Again, this is just a mere revision, and so the information is condensed. I am not spelling out everything, but just going through what should be under each heading. But you can always go back to the channel and look for these headings and watch those videos to get a more in-depth explanation of the content. Alright, so a triple line spacing shows 2 clear lines of space between text. So I'm seeing here, shoulder heading, 1, look at my cursor, 1, 2. So it shows 2 cursors between lines of text. So between the words shoulder headings and types of paragraph, I have a triple line spacing. Alright, between types of heading and main heading, there's one cursor, right? 1 space there, the cursor is blinking, that's a double space. Alright, so that represents a double space when the cursor is only 1 cursor can hold between the lines of text. Where you have 2 cursors and they should be close together. Alright, that represents a triple line spacing. Alright, so we now look at types of headings. So we have various types of headings. We have main heading, subheading, shoulder heading, paragraph heading, and side headings, otherwise known as marginal headings. Again, I have an in-depth video speaking about these headings. Alright, types of paragraphs. There are 4 types of paragraphs. We have blocked, indented, hanging, and inset paragraphs. Alright, so I have attached here paragraph alignment. Now I have the 4 alignment icons here. So this, when the information is flushed to the left, realize that everything here on the left side is even. That is left aligned. So the information is left aligned. Alright, when the right side of the information being all even, it's said to be right aligned. Alright, when we have neither left nor right being even, the information is said to be centered. And when we have both, look at this side here, both left and right side being even, we say that it is justified or fully justified. Alright, and how am I? Let me demonstrate that quickly with this paragraph here. So if you look here, you see that everything coming down where manuscript is properly lined up. So the information here, and by default, once you start typing in Microsoft Word, right, your information will be left aligned. Alright, or words are always left aligned. Alright, I'm just putting that in there, and figures are right aligned. You should always know that. Alright, and not only for this purpose, but I'm speaking about spreadsheet, etc. Questions will be asked on that, so you need to know. So I have highlighted this paragraph for you to see how it looks. So realize that the left side, everything is even, and then you have the in and out to the right. So that matches here, this icon, which is the left alignment icon. I'm going to press center alignment. Realize now that neither left nor right is even, so that represents center alignment. I'm going to press right alignment and realize that everything to the right side is now lined up properly and the left side is in and out, which matches the right alignment icon. And then I'm going to press the justify or the fully justified icon and realize now that we have a straight line on the left and a straight line on the right. Alright, so this is now said to be justified. Hopefully that would have cleared up anything and you would have understood what I just said. Alright, so moving on to manuscripts. Now, we start off with manuscript sign. Manuscript signs are a standard set of signs and symbols used to indicate corrections on typist drafts. The marks are usually placed both in the text and in the margins. In preparing a document, in manuscript or draft, the writer uses abbreviations which must be spelled out when the document is being typed. Alright, and I would have done many videos on manuscripts. Alright, and note that with a manuscript, so you have markings that are there as well as abbreviations that needs to be expanded. Let us look at some of these abbreviations, and please do not mind the lines that are underneath them. Right, they are not recognized as complete words, and that's why that exists. Alright, so the first one is ACCOM, right, which is the abbreviation for accommodation, followed by advert, advertisement, A/C, this is most commonly used in principles of accounting or accounts in general, meaning account, is the abbreviation for the word account. APP, one of these P should be out, right, meaning approximately. APPT, appointment. BN, bin. CO, company. DR, dear. DEPT, department. FFLY, faithfully. FR, from. HV, I'm over this side, have. NECY, necessary. REF, reference. SH, shall. SHD, should. SIN or SINC, sincerely. TH, that. W, with. WL, will. YR, meaning year or your. And YRS for yours. Now, please note, for the past few years, I've seen CXC, 2 of the multiple choice questions have been from this section. All right, NECY and SH. All right, so necessary and shall, those are the 2 that I've seen on exam papers. So please look out for the others, because you do not know which one will be coming on your exam. All right, so study these to show yourself approved when the time comes. All right, now I have your days of the week, for example, Monday, Tuesday, and the months of the year, for example, Jan and Feb, should, and I capitalize this, should be expanded. So whenever you're typing and you're seeing the abbreviation as it relates to the days of the week, the months of the year, please ensure that you always write out the entire word. Now we look at common manuscript signs. All right, I got this from the CSEC syllabus. All right, so hopefully it is visible on your side. All right, so we start off with STET, S-T-E-T. And many of these, you would have seen me spoken about them in 1 or 2 of my videos when we're looking at manuscripts in any of the questions that were given. All right, so we have wrong word, and it is crossed out with some dotted lines under it. All right, and then we see the word STET, means to remain unchanged or to leave as is. All right, then we have the symbol here, meaning run on. All right, means that if you have maybe you have 2 sentences that are not joined together, you may have that symbol join in bold to say that the second one should continue beside the first. Then we have lowercase, so we have the U here, which is capitalized, and we have LC, right? The U is underlined, and we see LC, meaning lowercase. So it means that when you're retyping, this U should be a common U and not a capital. Here we have it being a common, but we see UC beside it, which means that it should be in uppercase. All right, then we have new paragraphs. There are various ways of abbreviating for or using the manuscript sign for new paragraph, right? We can use NP, we can use this asterisk here, or we can use 2 forward slashes, all right, to symbolize new paragraph. We have this arrow to say that whatever is there should be indented. We have 3 lines to say that these things should be lined up, right? Lined up means get everything in that line, straight line. Move to the left, this arrow. Start lower on the page, all right, and then we have move up, the arrow showing upward. Then we have the insert symbol here, right? This is the manuscript sign for insert. Sometimes you may see it, and you may see it right in the center here where that V is. You may see a full stop or a comma or something like that, which simply means to insert a full stop or insert a comma or insert any sign that is in the center there. Then we have delete, all right, 2 ways of writing it. This looks like a pie, right? And then we have the circle with a slash, or sometimes you may see the circle with a slash not being so far apart, but maybe together. All right, and that means delete. Then we have transpose, right? This like an S, right? This is a transposition sign, and we have transposition horizontally and vertically. All right, so this is a horizontal transposition. You may see such a S being between any caps and closed caps wrapping around it. All right, which is another way of transposing, but that would be a vertical transposition. All right, any caps means initial caps, and I would have spoken about that further up on the page, which means that the first letter in each word should be capitalized. Then we have closed capitals. All right, so when you have 2 lines under any word, all right, or group of words, then the 2 lines under it means that it should be in closed capitals, which basically is the same thing as all capitals. All right. And 3 lines on the words says that those words should be in spaced capitals. 1 space between each letter, 3 space between words. So note the lines. 2 lines for closed capitals or all caps, and 3 lines for spaced capitals. Close up means that these two are too far apart, too much space. Close it up to make it one word. So this should be the word CLOSE. Alright. Leave a space. This hashtag is the space, the manuscript sign for space in the subject. Alright. Is this circle? This is a balloon. So this would be around a word or some words with the arrow showing you where it should go. It means to move this section in the balloon to the indicated position. And this is very common in the subject. So don't look for an O like this, but look for this O being around an entire paragraph or sentence or group of words to tell you to move that to somewhere. Alright, so that is that for those manuscript signs. There are many others, but those are the most common ones that you may see. Alright, now I move to keyboard and shortcut keys. The following are shortcuts used for general editing and formatting commands. Alright, and I don't know if you can see them properly. You have Shift plus, the plus sign is missing from between these, this chart. Alright, Shift plus Control plus Shift plus A will give you all capital letters. Control plus B to bold something. Control plus U to underline it. And please note that you must highlight these things first before you press these shortcut keys. Alright, to get double underline under something, it is Control plus Shift plus D. But I will not go through all of these. I have a video on this. You can watch that on the channel. What I'm going to look at are the common things: cut, copy, paste, etc. Alright, so let us go. So underline, Control plus U. To save a document, Control plus S. To put something in italic, Control plus I. Right, to open a new document is Control plus N. Alright, to cut a document is Control plus C. To paste a document is Control plus V. I'm not seeing all of those. Control plus V. Alright, to undo something is Control plus Z. Alright, to get single line spacing, if you have something in double line spacing, you want to get it in single line spacing, is Control plus 1. If you have something in single line spacing and you want to get it in double line spacing, it's Control plus 2. Alright, and there are many other shortcuts that exist to help us to utilize our word processor. Alright, and not only in Microsoft Word, but overall. Alright, there are many other shortcut keys. This is not even half of them. Alright, I have another video that has more than what is here. Alright, so you can check that out. Alright, then we have business document preparation. Now this starts off with stationery. It says stationery is the term for all materials found in an office. Some items of stationery used in an office includes erasers, highlighters, pens, scissors, pencils, etc. Alright, then it says paper is used for hard copy information or printed output. It is measured in reams. A ream of paper is 500 sheets. So when you go and you buy that pack of paper, or you go to the office and you see persons with that pack of paper, that pack of paper is called a ream of paper. It contains 100 sheets inside. The most commonly used system for paper size, right, is the ISO, meaning the International Standard Organization, A series. The largest ISO size is A0, which measures 841 by 1189 millimeters, and each subsequent size is obtained by dividing the paper in half. And then we move to paper orientation. Now, paper orientation refers to the layout or positioning of the paper. There are 2 types of orientation: portrait and landscape. A sheet of paper is in portrait layout when the shorter sides are at the top and bottom. A sheet of paper is said to be in the landscape orientation when the longer sides are at the top and the bottom, and the shorter sides are at the left and right. And here you can see that portrait versus landscape orientation. All right. I did not mention, as it relates to the ISO series, that the most commonly used paper size is A4. All right. And again, I have a video on stationery. You can always go to the channel to look at that when you have some time. All right, let's move on. So we're now going to look at business letters. A business letter is a formal way of sending and receiving written information. It includes various parts such as, and it starts off, right, in the same order as you see here from A to K, with the letterhead, followed by the reference if there is one, then the attention line. Now the attention line can have some things there. You can have urgent, personal, or confidential. All right. Inside, name and address, salutation, subject heading, the body, the complimentary clause, the signatory, the designation, and the enclosure attachment or courtesy copy. And that's the order that it comes in. All right. Please note also that the salutation and the complimentary clause goes together. So with a formal letter, if it is that we do not know the name of the person, we have dear sir, dear sirs, dear madam, dear sir or madam, then we will normally end such a letter with yours faithfully. If we're doing a circular letter, we say yours truly. All right. If we do know the name of the person, then we dear Mr. Brown, dear Mrs. Carr, dear Mr. Thompson, etc. Right? If we know the name of the person in the salutation, then the complimentary clause will end sincerely yours or yours sincerely. All right. So please bear that in mind. The salutation and the complimentary clause goes together. All right. And we utilize a formal letter when we are typing. All right. So we use a formal letter. So we address the persons accordingly. As it relates to letter styles, there are 3 styles that are used: the blocked, semi-blocked, and the indented style. As it relates to displays, right, we have enumeration, means that means to itemize or list a number of items, 1, 2, 3, right, as how I have it, not how I have it here, as how I have it here, 1, 2, 3 in this order, all right, or bullets, bullet, 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 etc. So that's enumeration. Then we have inset, right? Insetting is a technique that is used to draw the reader's attention to the inset text, which stands out clearly from the rest. When it speaks about it's being standing out from the rest, an inset text is normally indented at 0.5 inches in single line spacing. So once you're reading something or you're looking at something, and for example, if that thing is in the block style where everything starts at left margin, and then you see something being indented at 0.5 inches in single line spacing, yes, you're going to be drawn to want to find out why is that like that. All right, and that is an inset text. And also another thing that we can find in our table, in our letters, are tables. So there are 3 displays that can be found, and not only in letters, but certain other documents. You can find this in some manuscripts as well. All right, not the tables, but the enumeration and the inset. All right, so those are the 3. And I'm not going to repeat myself every time I go on, but almost everything here, there's a video on it on the YouTube channel. You can go and get more in-depth knowledge about these theory aspects. All right. Then we look at the circular letter. A circular letter is a standard letter that is sent to several recipients. The date is shown as day, month, and year, as we have it here, 15 June 20, and dash dash. The dash dash simply means that you put in the year that you're using it. All right. I've seen students sometimes when they're typing, they put back the dash dash. No, you put in the year that you're doing this thing. So it will be 15 June 2021. All right, month and year only, June 2021. Or date as postmark. So there are 3 ways of writing the date for the circular letter. The addressee information may be typed as all customers, dear householder, dear parent, dear sir or madam. A circular letter may contain a tear-off or a cut-off slip, and the cut-off portion allows the recipient to cut, complete, and return that section to the sender. Mail merge. Mail merge is an automated feature of Microsoft Word that enables you to merge a data source into a copy of document to customize or personalize the document. All right, and a mail merge is basically done by companies that has a lot of letters, a lot of the same letter to send out to persons. So rather than typing 50 of the same letter, that would be a task. And I'm just using 50 as a decent number. 50 of the same letter to persons, right? That person who is typing, that secretary would just type one letter and insert the various addresses for those persons in the letter, all right? And that is done via mail merge. So the procedure for mail merge: create a main document, which is a main letter that will be sent out to everyone. Create a data source, which is basically the list of the names and the addresses and whatever information we want to put in, send out for the persons. All right, their title, if they're doing a presentation, the topic, the date, etc. And then basically the third thing says adding those merge fields or that data source to the main, adding merge fields to the main document and merging the data source and the document. And that's it. It's a very simple procedure. All right. Then we have the memorandum, a memorandum or memo for short. All right, so memo for short, and the plural is memoranda, is a brief written internal method of communication. The main component of a memorandum includes the heading, the caption, the body, and the ending. It can be written using the blocked or the indented style. All right, now I have here the heading. It's not the heading. The heading will be the word memo, or the caption. So the caption includes, so I think I should change this from heading. Yeah. So the caption, so the heading would be the word memo, all right? But the caption includes to, from, ref date and subject. Then we have the body and the ending. Committee or meeting documents. Now, committee documents are documents used at a meeting. These meeting documents include notice, agenda, minutes of meeting, and the chairman's agenda. So there are basically 4 committee documents. A notice of meeting is a brief, formal, and written document inviting members who are entitled to attend a meeting and is usually sent no less than 14 days in advance. Items included on a notice are the date, time, place, and purpose of the meeting. The notice may also be combined with the agenda and prepared as one document. An agenda is a list of items in the order in which they will be discussed at a meeting. The agenda is prepared by the secretary after consulting with the chairperson and circulated well before the meeting so that the members may review the items to be discussed. The items included on an agenda are apologies for absence, minutes of last meeting, matters arising, items to be discussed, and any other business, and date and time of next meeting. These are some of the standard things that are normally on the agenda, but companies will doctor however they see fit to utilize their own purpose. Then we have the chairman's agenda. The chairman's agenda is a specially prepared agenda that contains details that assist the chairman in conducting the meeting. The text of the chairman's agenda occupies the left side of the page. 1/2 or more of the page is left blank on the right-hand side for the writing of notes during the meeting. The minutes of a meeting, which is the last one, is a brief and accurate record of the procedures and discussions at a meeting, written in the past tense. The names of persons attending the meeting, heading the minutes with the chairperson's name, are recorded as well as the topics dealt with as they appear on the agenda and signed by the chairperson at the next meeting. Displays. A display is a creative and attractive work on show. It requires creativity and the use of basic formatting guidelines related to the arrangement of both text and graphics. There are 2 types of displays, simple and advanced. Here I have a table. Simple display examples: columnar work, notices, menus, invitations, cards, one-page and bookfold programs, and flyers. Advanced display includes flowcharts, organizational charts, graphs, newsletters, 4, 6, and 8-page leaflets. Legal documents. Legal documents are prepared according to the specific guidelines, particularly because their terms and conditions are enforceable by law. And enforceable by law simply means that if one party to the contract, because it is a type of contract, right, it's legally binding, thus the term legal document. If one party fails to carry out their side to this agreement, then the other party can sue them, which is basically take them to court to claim for damages. Legal documents includes wills, contracts, agreements, leases, deeds, endorsements, and conveyances. An endorsement basically describes briefly the purpose of a legal document, the parties concerned, and the name of the solicitor or lawyer. We move to literary documents. Literary documents consist of writings, usually with imaginative ideas. Literary documents may, literary documents may include plays, poems, stories, essays, articles, and sermons. There's normally a multiple choice question on this, so you need to know what are the various examples of literary documents. All right. Technical documents. Now we have two types of specifications. We have the builder specification and we have the architect specification. And this is basically a document which sets out in detail the work to be carried out by an architect or a contractor on a particular job. We also have a bill of quantity that lists in details the cost incurred in completing a job. And the other technical document is one that is called scope of work. All right. Then we have financial statements. Financial statements are documents that are usually prepared at the end of an accounting or trading period within an organization. It includes things such as a trial balance, a balance sheet, a profit and loss statement or profit and loss account, an income and expenditure account, invoices, bank statement, and receipts. All right, for our subject, you'll normally see some of these things in paper 2 that asks you to draft them. All right, but these are examples of financial statements. Then we go to tabulation. Tabulation is the act or process of arranging data in rows and columns, basically in table form. It can be done in either a word processor or in a spreadsheet. And we have simple versus advanced tabulation, right? Advanced means that you do more things to the document than you would in simple tabulation. The headings that are used in tabulation, there are 3 types. We have vertical column headings, horizontal column headings, and we have oblique headings. Oblique is another word for slant, right? It sounds more professional, oblique, right? But basically it's a slant heading at 45 degrees. And the final thing that I'll look at for this video is spreadsheet. Now a spreadsheet is an electronic worksheet used to manipulate and organize numbers. It is used for a variety of tasks, which includes preparing payroll and financial statements such as trial balance, balance sheets, profit and loss statements, statement of income and expenditure, charts, graphs, and budgeting. Now, there are various terms that are associated with spreadsheet, and I'm going to be moving back and forth with these definitions and looking at an actual spreadsheet for you to get a better understanding of what those definitions represent. All right, so we have a worksheet. It says that a worksheet is a simple working area in a spreadsheet file consisting of a grid of lettered columns and row numbers. So here I have an example of a spreadsheet. All right, and so it has the column letters A, B, C, D, etc. and the rows to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And where a column and a row meet, we'll get a cell, and you'll see that shortly. But the grid lines are here. and this is a worksheet. All right. Let's go back up. It says a workbook is a collection of related spreadsheets that are saved as one file. A new workbook consists of 3 worksheets. So once you open up Microsoft Excel and it opens, right? You open up Microsoft Excel, it opens into a workbook. All right? It will say at the top Microsoft Excel, and once you give it a name, then you will save that workbook as a particular name. So once you open Microsoft Excel, that is a workbook. And to the bottom here, you will have 3 sheets that are automatically there. So 3 worksheets, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 2, wow, sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3. The symbol here means that if you click on it, you can get another sheet. All right, but you will automatically see 3 sheets that are there. All right, and that is it. So that's a workbook. Next thing speaks about a active cell. Now the cell at the cursor location. So where a column and a row intersect, it forms a cell. So, and that would be highlighted. Look at this column here, highlighted by the orange, H. All right. And then the row to the left, 6. So at column H6, where H, column H and row 6 meet, you get a cell. All right. And realize now this black border. So this basically is where the cursor is located, at the cell. And it is the active cell. The active cell is normally denoted by that thick border around it. So once I start my typing, it will start right there in that cell. All right, that is my active cell. That is normally a past paper question, so bear that in note where my active cell is located. All right, then it asks about a cell. Well, I spoke about a cell already. A box at the intersection of a row and a column that can hold one data item. Now we have something known as a cell reference or a cell address, which is basically the coordinates of a cell. A1 means the data is in column A and row 1. I just told you that the active cell that we looked at a while ago was at H6. So H6 would have been the column reference or the cell address for that cell. All right, always starting with the column letter first. Please bear that in mind. Then we look at formulas and functions. Now a formula is an equation that performs a calculation. So you make it up. So equal B1 plus B2. So that's a formula. Then we have something known as a function. Now a function is a pre-written formula that is there in Excel. All right. So sum, so you have many functions, sum, maximum, minimum, average, etc. There are many functions in Excel. All right, so it says example, sum, the sum function adds a set of numbers. So how we'll write that function? Equal sum and the range, open bracket, B1 to, that colon meaning to, B2 close bracket. So the formula doesn't have any brackets, but the function carries brackets. And then the function will normally have the words along with it. So in the words that you're writing, sum, max, min, average, etc., those are functions. So function carries the words. Formula is an equation. Then we have label, which is a descriptive name that indicates what a data is in a cell, row, or column. Then we have a range. A range is a group of cells that form a rectangle at the screen, or on the screen rather. So A2 straight down to A6 is a range. We are highlighting from A2 to A6. Then you have AutoSum. AutoSum, and this is a symbol for AutoSum, all right? This looking like an E, right? That's the AutoSum symbol. It is used to add the contents of a group of adjacent cells. So you can use AutoSum, and with AutoSum you can, rather than writing the sum function equals sum, you can click AutoSum and just click on it and press enter, checking the range that it has highlighted for you. If it's okay, then you press enter and you automatically get your response. All right, so finally we look at, for this section, when you, something known as freeze pane. All right, When you freeze panes, Microsoft Excel keeps specific rows or columns visible when you scroll in the worksheet. For example, if the first row in the spreadsheet or in your spreadsheet contains headings, you might freeze that row to make sure that the column headers remain visible as you scroll down in your spreadsheet. Now, why is that important? Sometimes you'll have a spreadsheet and, well, most of the times companies have spreadsheet and they will have thousands of customers or information for other persons. And the spreadsheet can hold straight over 66,000 rows. All right. And so to scroll down, once you leave from the first page, the information disappears and you go on page 2 and you don't see what is on your first page. So by freezing the row headings, right, the column headings rather, by freezing the column headings on the page, you're able to scroll down to any amount of page below and those headings are still visible to you. And that's very important. All right, so you can freeze your column headings, right, and other things too, right, and for it to remain visible when you scroll down that page. And note that I have here, when you freeze pane, Microsoft Excel keeps specific rows or columns visible, because this too is a past paper question. All right. How does it keep them? It keeps the rows and columns visible so that when it doesn't matter where you go on that spreadsheet, what page you reach, right, what page you're on, you can still see those columns and rows from your first page. They are still visible to you. All right, so that's that. Now, I have an example of a spreadsheet here, and I was using it in my example at the top. So let me just quickly go through some things here. I spoke about different headings. So here I have the an example of a horizontal heading, employee name, going across. I have a vertical heading here, territory, coming down, and I have my slant heading, my oblique headings going across. So those are the three headings that can be utilized. All right, what else did I do? You know that we can merge and center information in our spreadsheet. You know that where a column H and a row meets, row 6, it forms a cell, right? And it gives us a cell address. All right, and also wherever you see that black line around a cell, that is the active cell. All right, our words are always left aligned and our numbers are always right aligned. All right, what else? And I think that's it. I spoke about what is a worksheet versus a workbook. All right, and that's that. Now, in Microsoft Excel, there are many charts that can be utilized, but I narrowed it down to these 4 based on a past paper question. All right, so the 4 main ones will be column chart, bar chart, pie chart, and donut chart. I have a question here. It says, which of the following charts would allow results to be easily compared? I'll give you a second to look at it. Which of the following charts would allow results to be easily compared? Now, if you said the answer was column chart and bar chart, then you would have been correct. And that is it for the video. Thank you very much for sticking around to the end. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Please comment down below. Let me know how this information impacted your knowledge. Maybe you learned something you didn't know before. Tell me how it enhanced your knowledge. Also, please share the video with someone who you think will benefit from the content at this time as your exam is drawing closer. And thank you very much for watching. If you have not yet subscribed, or you know of someone who has not yet subscribed, please tell them to subscribe to the channel and to be a part of my EDPM family. Thank you very much for watching. I have one more video to do on this series, and then that will be it for my paper 1 revision, and hopefully you'll be set for your exam. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in my next upload as I try each and every time to make EDPM simple. Goodbye.